What is up, guys? Welcome to this week's 1 Minute Clinic. And before we get started, guys, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe so that we can continue to do all the stuff that we're doing, and we have collaboration videos scheduled as our channel grows. And also, if you want your question answered and turned into a 1 Minute Clinic video, comment your questions down below. I get to every single one because I add them to a list. And today's question comes from, it just says HJ10s, so that's what I'm going to call them. It says, thanks for the great tip. I would love to see a video on running forehands when you're pulled wide and really running. I tend to hit them short in the net or not cross court enough. How do you create power to hit a deep cross court ball and stay neutral when your body momentum is not in line with your target? Now, similar to other videos that I've done, there are certain things that I've covered, but I have not covered this exact situation by itself. So there's going to be some things that I mentioned from older videos that I will have to use to actually explain this one, but this is a very easy one to cover. So let's get 1 minute on the clock and start this week's 1 Minute Clinic. So the situation that was asked about was not really when we end up here kind of just moving out and hitting through the ball, but actually when we have no ability to stop our momentum. So let's say I'm coming from the ad side and then I'm running down this forehand and I'm not going to be able to stop here. The question that they kind of specified was, when you don't have the ability to get your momentum in line with your shot, how do you create power with this stroke? Now, you're going to have to prioritize two different things and actually practice them separately at first. You're going to have to get the power from your legs pushing upward. You're obviously not going to be able to shift your body weight into the court. So you're going to get the outside leg to drive you up into the shot. That's going to be really important in terms of how you get your power to help you get the ball over the net. Most people, when they're on the run, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to drop their racket and they're going to try and whip the shot up, which will work. But the problem is, like they said in the question, you're going to end up with balls that land a little short sometimes. So the trick to getting the depth as well is to take your body and be able to kind of separate the way your momentum moves from the waist down versus the way your momentum moves from the waist up. So my legs are going this way, and kind of like the way a tank works, my legs are rolling this way, and I need to be able to kind of separate my upper body into being able to rotate from side to side. What that's going to do is that's going to allow me to actually hit flatter. So when you guys hit a flat shot, even if I don't take any technique and I just hold my racket like this, when you rotate your body, this is what the basics of a flat stroke are. Your racket's going straight through the ball. So if I put the racket in my hand, put my leverage out here, and I focus on rotating through, I'm going to end up with a lot of lateral force. So because I have that lateral force already taken care of, where's my lifting force going to come from? Like I said, get the leg to push up. So by separating the two different things and not really doing a lot with the arm, what you end up with is lifting the ball from here and rotating through and then finishing after. That also is going to help you get around the outside of the ball, which, to add the last part of the question, how do I get the ball to go cross court more? Since you can't really do this move here, you're going to rotate your body, catch the ball here, and then take a step through after. So I'm going to break this down into a quick progression of just how to work the footwork and practice it, and then I'll put it into a live scenario for a couple of examples. So looking at this in like a quick progression variation, what you're going to do first is you're going to be in an open stance and be facing this way and have your racket already set. Because if you were running this way, your racket would already be behind you and you'd be ready to bring the racket through as you take your last step through the shot. First thing I want you guys to try to practice doing, if you have somebody to feed balls to you, which I do sitting right behind the camera, and it's not who you think it is. What I want you to try to do is when the ball comes to you, you're just going to take your body and just pick up this leg. Pick up this leg and hit the ball and just kind of freeze right about there. The goal here is to feel like your body is moving against itself. Your leg is going this way while your upper body is going the opposite way. What that's going to do is that's going to actually have your motions cancel each other out, which is going to allow you to keep your balance when you move through the court. So taking that as an example, this is what the first part will look like. Ball comes through, and then you just kind of catch your balance. Ball comes through, down, rotate, and then just let your leg come down. The second part is going to be having your momentum move a little more laterally. So now as the ball comes to me, I'm going to take that step. She's officially fired. Got it? going to take that step and then bring both legs through. On my second step, now I'm facing the court. Same thing again, from here, 1, and then come around. The goal here is, again, to feel like your body can stay sideways even though parts of your body are moving separately. So if you look at me facing the camera, let's say I was running this way, as I run for my forehand, obviously I'd be facing the court, but as I go to swing, these two parts, being my racket and my left leg, are moving at the same speed, so they kind of cancel each other out, and I don't turn until after I'm catching my balance. So taking it to a full speed version of it, when the ball comes to my side, I'm gonna combine all those moves I just did at a little bit more speed. And the main thing, as I said from the very beginning, is I put the lift on my right leg. My right leg brings the shot up while my right arm brings the shot through. That rotation of the core is gonna be where my power comes from. Not from the wrist, not from the leg trying to step that way. It's just gonna be a big rotation at the same time. So looking at it full speed and then actually looking at it slow and then full speed, this is what it'll look like. I run, 1, 2. And then going a little faster, rack it down, there. That's where the power comes from. My leg gets the ball high enough to get over the net, but my power comes from rotating the court. Obviously, I have enough arm speed to be able to create some force, but a lot of that force and a lot of the ability to hit flat is coming from the fact that my body is rotating through. So I'm gonna flip that to the back view, and now you guys get to see who's actually been feeding the ball. So as you guys can see, Mia has been the one doing these amazing feeds. Say hi, Mia. Now, I'm just gonna do a quick little demonstration of the hitting the outside of the ball just to make sure that you guys understand how to maintain the angle. Again, when I go to step up, I'm trying to rotate my body early enough that I'm basically pointing my racket somewhere between Mia and the black curtain, which means when I hit the ball, I'll be on the outside of it rather than trying to reach around it and flip it around myself. I'm just letting my body rotation bring it that way. And so when we add the feed in, I'm going to do this one full speed on the run, the 3 things I want you to look at, and I'll slow it down one time as well, is my leg pushing up, my body rotating through, and then me keeping my racket on the outside of the ball, which will address the power, the angle, and the depth. So starting from here on the run, let's imagine I just ran from hitting a backhand on this side of the court. Now I'm on my way there. The ball will come through, rotate. There's my power. Everything that I just did is all synchronized in the one. The leg goes up, the body rotates, and I find the outside of the ball. So before we end this video, the one thing I want to make sure everybody's aware of is basically you have 3 stages of movement. You have the ability to step in, you have the need to step out, and you have the need to run through. Understanding which one of these is available is going to make it easier to do any of them properly. Trying to force one when you don't need it is going to actually cost you the point and cost you the shot quality more than not being able to execute the shot. So what I mean is, if my plan is to step out and then forward, my goal is to hit the ball a little harder and more aggressive. If my plan is to step out and then push up, my goal is to lift the ball, create some more time, create some more height and spin. And if my goal is to run through, you can do it one of 2 ways. You can kind of push up a little bit more, but as I said, you end up with a ball that may land short if you're giving it too much rotation, or you can do the one that was the request of this video, where you step through and you rotate your body. But the point is, shoving one of those into the other scenario would be a waste, or shoving it in would be basically just ineffective. So for example, why take an open stance and jump up to the side when you've got time to step in? Why run through and cross over when the ball is only here and an open stance would have worked out? Understanding which one fits, which I've covered all of them at some point, will help you with understanding how to execute each one, because it's a goal of just having better situational awareness. But that's going to wrap up today's 1 Minute Clinic, guys. If you know anybody who would benefit from this video, please send it off to them. And again, if you're new to the channel, please consider liking and subscribing. Remember, the trick here is going to be get the legs to push up, get the body, the upper body to rotate through, and then just let the timing of it help you reach around the outside of the ball. Instead of being here, you're going to try to be in about this position there. Over and over again, you're going to be put in these situations, and your ability to decide which one is the best option is going to weigh in way more than your ability to execute the shot. Obviously, you have to be able to execute it, but being able to recognize that it's time to execute it is going to give you the head start you need to make it really effective. But as I said in the beginning, that's going to wrap this video up. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next one.